Boy, yo. Boy, I'm in here late as hell, but hey, that's what I gotta do. I gotta drop a little surprise. Little surprise on folks, you feel what I'm saying? In here a little late. It's a little late time, but gotta drop some surprise on people, you feel me? So, so gonna have to let these people get in here real quick before we start up on here. Somehow I missed my interest music. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. Now I gotta try to find it. I knew I should have saved that. I don't even know what my interest music is, man. It ain't Hill Truth Live without my interest music. You feel me? Before we get up on this thing here, but let me find this thing real quick. I don't know what I did with it. This is bad. This is pretty bad. So we're gonna let a few people get up in here. I know it's late. I know it's late, but you know, we starting off right. Yeah, we just starting. Come on in, come on down the aisle. Come on into the Hill Truth Gospel congregation. Have a seat. We're gonna have an in-depth discussion about what you see on your title page. And we're gonna just get a lot of things situated and figured out here, because I done seen some stuff over the last I can't even say the last week or so, or the last few days or so. I gotta say over the last few months or so. And the common denominator with all the situation pertaining to this one particular game, yes, that game is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Ever since Tears of the Kingdom released back in May, I've been seeing this argument recycled and regurgitated over and over again. And now here we are in August, and it has gotten ridiculously out of hand. Super ridiculously out of hand, because the stuff I'm seeing and the stuff I'm reading online and the stuff that is coming out of people's mouths is just ridiculous. So as you can see by the title, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. So, because you know this the little sneaky late late night stream up in here. So we gonna get right into this thing here. As you can see, the title of this video: Can any game beat Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year of 2023? And I say that with the utmost respect to all the other games that have been released so far and all the other games that are coming out. But as of today, of August 2023, Tears of the Kingdom still sits on the throne. The throne that it is basically the crown game of the year of 2023. So with that being said, we had to go down and figure out, could this game really be dethroned before the year is over with, or before December comes, because you know everybody gives out their Game of the Year awards around December. By the time December gets here, so I'm gonna tell you off the bat, I didn't include that Avatar game in this discussion because it comes out in December, and most importantly, I think it's going to be garbage anyway. So I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. It doesn't look that great in the first of all. So I'm really not, it's not a great track record for movies turning into games, regardless of the anomaly that is Spider-Man on PlayStation. The track record is still pretty damn bad. So I'm really not expecting this Avatar game to do anything. And plus, games that come out in December typically don't get nominated for the year it came out in anyway. I don't agree with that. I think Game of the Year award should be given out in January when the year is over with. But hey, that's how the industry does their thing right now. So can't really do anything about that. So why is this video titled this? It's pretty simple. Everybody know Tears of the Kingdom was a very great game, a very surprising game. Why do I say surprising? Because why do I say surprising for a Legend of Zelda game? Simply because Breath of the Wild was such a crowning achievement and a masterpiece. It nobody really thought it was possible to really follow that game up and really trump it. And if any studio or any developer or house was able to do it, it would be Nintendo. And then there were still doubts. I'm not even gonna lie, I had my doubts as well. I was like, this, I don't even know how you how you top Breath of the Wild. That's a really tall feat to do. And damn it, did they do it? And then they knocked it out of the park. They hit a home run. They threw a touchdown on the first play of the drive. It was crazy what Tears of the Kingdom was able to accomplish. Sales wise, critics wise, and in gameplay and innovation wise, it's really the pinnacle of gaming. It's top tier gaming. The game that basically had all gamers in a frenzy when it first came out, and still have gamers in a frenzy today. The game that continues to go viral for the things that you can create in this world of Tears of the Kingdom is really amazing. Is an understatement to say it that way. But the discussion after Tears of the Kingdom and then new game started coming out was such and such game can beat Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year. And that trend started pretty much the first month after Tears of the Kingdom came out, and it kept going every month after that till we got here today in August, where it's gotten ridiculously out of hand. So out of hand is some of the most ridiculous shit I have ever seen and read on the internet from actual PlayStation fans, Xbox fans, Nintendo fans, even PC fans, and developers at that. So we got to set a couple of things straight. What makes Tears of the Kingdom so great is pretty simple. Tears of the Kingdom does nearly everything perfect. Nearly everything is perfect about this game. From the story, to the gameplay, to the soundtracks, to the innovation, to the mechanics, to the art style, to the lore, everything. And it pushes the genre of open world games once again to a whole new realm that developers have never done before, that gamers have never felt before. So that's what made Tears of the Kingdom so special and why people fell in love with it. Because Tears of the Kingdom is truly the definition of a video game. You truly was able to immerse in a virtual world and pretty much put your brain to create anything your mind imagined. That's just almost impossible to do in a video game, but Tears of the Kingdom was able to do that. Anything you thought of, you could actually bring to fruition in this game. That's unheard of. And what made it even so great is that the game was so polished, you couldn't even break the game. The stuff you were able to do in Tears of the Kingdom is, without the game breaking or glitching, is absolutely phenomenal. That is a technical marvel on all standards that you can be able to do stuff like that. Tears of the Kingdom has to be the most polished game ever released in gaming history. Period. Bottom line, the fact that the way you can manipulate so much things in that game and nothing really goes haywire and it doesn't crash is crazy to me. I don't even know how to develop that game. I still say it to this day, and I play it to this day a lot. So it's pretty crazy. So we know the standard of it, right? Then we got, people hyped up Final Fantasy 16, and it fell a little bit short. We're just going to be honest about it. We know it's not going to be a contender to knock Zelda off. We know it's not. Some people are upset about it, but it is what it is. A couple other games came out: Diablo IV, Street Fighter 6, which is phenomenal, but it's in today's age, it's hard for a fighter to win Game of the Year. It really has to be something astronomically ridiculous that we've never seen before, and that's just not what Street Fighter is. It's great, but something that really is just pushing gaming forward, not so much. They did try though. I will give them that. They did try some new things with Street Fighter 6. So hats off to Capcom. Capcom is on the roll, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna say this for this discussion, so nobody will ask this question later. I'm not counting remakes in this. Remakes should never, ever, ever be qualified for Game of the Year, especially remasters, simply because they're really not new. So I'm not going to talk much about Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 already has its place amongst the list of the top 10 best games of all time. To be honest with you, Resident Evil 4 is in my top 5 games of all time. That game didn't even need to be remade, to be honest with you. It still stood the test of time. So I'm not going to go back and fish for games. I just moved them out of the way because highly unlikely they ever win anyway. And I don't think they need to be in discussion because they're just remakes of older games. It's nothing really new. So don't expect to hear anything about Resident Evil or any other remake that came out. But, people thought it was going to be Diablo IV. Diablo IV came out. Great game, but just didn't match up with the critical acclaim of Zelda Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom. So, we fast forward a little bit, and then we get to Baldur's Gate 3. And this is where the conversation really hit the damn rails and has gotten really overblown. I'm gonna say this about Baldur's Gate 3. I respect what they have done for their little genre that they're in. I respect that. But the amount of comparison I have seen for Baldur's Gate 3 to Tears of the Kingdom is kind of really crazy to me. Because even though they try to say Baldur's Gate 3 is an open world game, it ain't really an open world game like that. You know what I mean? And this is where Tears of the Kingdom set the whole standard of what open world games are supposed to be. And Breath of the Wild said it before then. Open world game standard has changed. Especially for me, from when I'm playing anything. Open world to me now, after playing Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, is if I can see it, I can get to it. If I can see it, I can concoct my imagination in any way, form to get to that place. Open world games are still not doing that, and Baldur's Gate 3 ain't doing that. So until other open world games get to that feat to where I can really get to any location that my eyes set on in the game, like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild put before us, it's really going to always fall a notch below. And I'm just being quite honest with you because that's just what it is. And a lot of people that have put in 100 hours in these two games can attest to me and agree with me on that fact. It just really, it just really ain't the same. But I've seen so many people try very hard to say Baldur's Gate 3 is the one to knock off Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm really digging hard to figure out why is that even something people will crypt their lips up to say. What Tears of the Kingdom has accomplished is something that Baldur's Gate 3 is nowhere near hitting. Yes, it might be the best one in this little genre as a CRPG or a turn-based tactical game or whatever you want to classify this game as. But this thing about is really pushing gaming forward. I really want to see where, because I don't see it. Somebody showed to me where it's pushing gaming forward, like Tears of the Kingdom did, or even like the predecessor, Breath of the Wild did. Where is it pushing gaming forward? We've seen deep story arcs before in RPGs before, aka BioWare. We've seen games would have hella branching stories, hella dialogue in them. We've seen that before. That is really nothing new. You might have the most in your game in BG3, but that don't mean it's pushing it forward because you have more than the predecessor. You have to really do something genre defined, something really innovative to really push the genre forward. Something that people have never seen in video games before. Baldur's Gate 3 ain't really doing that. And I'm being quite honest with you, it ain't doing that at all. Period. It's not. We still got this old Y2K top overview camera angle, turn-based combat. It's like that's the worst thing ever. Turn-based combat in this day and age is already an ancient fossil to all of us anyway. So you have to do it differently. That top-down view turn-based combat, that is the most boring, asinine shit ever to be playing a game with. Period. I don't know how people enjoy it. I tried to give it a chance. I watched so much gameplay on this game, and I still don't understand what the appeal of it is for. Maybe the appeal is because maybe you can have a bear clap your cheeks, or you can clap the cheeks of a bear. Is that what the appeal is? Is that the appeal? Just the whole crazy sexapage y'all go on in Baldur Gate 3? That's the appeal to this damn game? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because to be a video game, the foundation of what should addict you is the actual gameplay. And on gameplay level, Baldur Gate 3 ain't doing nothing on any level that Tears of the Kingdom is doing when it comes to pushing actual gaming forward in a gameplay sense. Now, y'all definitely pushing gaming forward when it comes to sexual harassment and sexual assault on all type of beings in the world. You're definitely doing that, because I ain't never seen a bear clap the cheeks of a man. Like, I ain't never seen that in my life. But here we are. We're here. That's where we're here. Baldur's Gate 3 has to be the most horniest sexualized game I have ever seen in my life. And I don't understand why it is. It's so over the top ridiculous. Like, why? Like, who in their right mind thought, hey, let's have this man transform into a bear, and then let's have this other man lay down in the field, spread eagle with his legs wide open, and you just clap them cheeks. That's what you do. You just clap them cheeks, and you know what? Game of the year. People are going to love it. People are going to love it. It's like, no, man. Come on, man. It has to be more than this. The only thing that has been interesting, that has really turned eyes, is the wild sescapades that you can do in this damn game. I ain't never seen so many people play around with the genitalia and penises trying to create BBCs and everything. You thought Tears of the Kingdom were crazy. This is crazy. This is the most asinine, craziest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen more group of gamers more horny than in my life. They put Freaknik to shame, what they doing in this damn game. And that's very hard to damn do. Freaknik was something unbelievable to the eyes of today. But Baldur Gate 3 is taking it to a whole nother damn level, man. I should not have seen a bear clapping somebody's cheeks in a video game. Why is that even relevant to a CRPG in the first damn place? That's what I want to know. What's relevant about that? I don't get it. Somebody break it down to me. I tried to watch every single last gameplay walkthrough explaining everything to me. I still don't get what makes y'all sit down, play this damn game, develop all these relationships just so you can rape and hump and clap the cheeks of some ogre Shrek looking motherfucker that you created. What is the appeal about that? That's what I want to know. Instead, we playing in this ancient top-down camera view back from 1995, and you talking about we pushing gaming forward. How, Sway? How are we doing this? Are you changing the whole mechanics and the concept of turn-based combat? Are you changing the whole vision of turn-based combat? No, you're not. Especially today. The last thing I want to do is have this 1989 camera view in a turn-based combat RPG type of game, and I can't see a damn thing that my character is doing because I'm 8,000 miles away in the damn sky. That's the last thing I want to do. You know what games actually did turn-based combat right? You know what games actually tried to take turn-based combat and make it a little more visually appealing and immersive to the gamer? Fire Emblem did that. Valkyria Chronicles did that. Hell, we might as well even throw in Bravely Default. They tried to throw the whole turn-based combat on his head with the Brave and the Default functionality. But what did y'all do? We clapping bare cheeks, bro. That's what we did. We clapping bare cheeks. We can make a penis about 15 foot long. And guess what? You can fuck anything in this game when you get ready. We pushing gaming forward. Y'all gotta stop this shit. Y'all have to stop this. You know what I mean? I don't know where this comes from, where this overall hatred of Nintendo, first of all, and this developing hatred toward The Legend of Zelda. For what? Why? Give your hats off for greatness. That's what you're supposed to do. I know it's great to be, everybody looks up to you because they know you the god and they try to compare yourself to you and they say we can knock you off. But really bring something to the table if you're going to try to knock off the god. And clapping bare cheeks ain't bringing nothing to the table. Period. It's not. So I hope I don't hear this anymore. You know, forget they Metacritic score is obviously going to fall when reviews obviously come out. I don't know why it's taking so many people so long to play this damn game to review it. I don't know. But we know what's going to happen. Once all the rest of the reviews come out, it's not going to even be the same score anymore. We know this already. Stop playing yourselves. I don't understand why y'all want to clap some cheeks over getting over hyper of a game that coming out in a few weeks, you know, that looks like this. Starfield. This is engaging to me. This looks like something, hey, Tears of the Kingdom, we got a problem. But clapping some bare cheeks? Nah, man. Having a bear clap my cheeks ain't pushing gaming forward for me. That ain't getting me excited. What gets me excited? Bam. I see something like Starfield. You know what I mean? What else will get me excited? You know what I mean? Seeing something like Alan Wake 2. Or seeing something like Lords of the Fallen. Or seeing something like, I'm not even going to say Spider-Man. I'm not going to say Spider-Man. But this is that's the type of game we need to be talking about here. So, number one, stop with the Baldur Gate cap. Okay, let's start with the Baldur Gate 3 cap. We ain't clapping bear cheeks. We ain't clapping ogre cheeks. We ain't clapping cyclops cheeks. We not worried about clapping nobody cheeks until you fix that 1989 top-down camera view angle and turn-based combat from 3 fucking generations ago. Then we could talk about being Game of the Year. Then we could talk about being better than Tears of the Kingdom. So we're moving on to the next one. And the next one is obviously Starfield. I don't really have anything negative to say about this game, to be honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I ain't really got much bad to say about Starfield. They gave us that whole in-depth gameplay walkthrough at the last, Starfield Direct. Funny they called it Starfield Direct. Wonder where they got that from. This game looks phenomenal. I'm gonna be just straight up honest with you. Starfield looks phenomenal, man. I mean, if anybody gonna find a flaw in a game to talk some shit, it's gonna be me. I ain't found one yet. So when it comes to a game that can possibly contend to knock off Tears of the Kingdom, that actually can, I don't like that Baldur's Gate 3 clapping bare cheeks thing. It's Starfield. Because I have seen nothing negative or anything that alarms me for concern with this game. They thought about everything. They thought about the customization. They thought about the gameplay. They thought about the depth. They even put space combat in here, which is insane. I thought they would overlook something like that. And you know how deep Bethesda RPGs are. And the fact of the matter is, which makes me a little bit concerned, is this is also something that hasn't really been done before on this scale. You had people that tried before with the flop that is No Man's Sky. Mass Effect had, a little space type of world with it, but nobody really had full-blown open world on this scale, on this type, in this type of genre, in this type of setting. So it's going to feel like something brand new. It's going to feel like something brand spanking new. And one fact is, the game was supposed to come out last year, and they delayed it, and a lot of people were upset that they delayed this damn game. I didn't really care because when you're a Nintendo fan, when you hear delay, all you hear is great. When you hear something got delayed, oh, that's gonna be great. We already know, so we don't get upset about it anymore. But when they delayed this game a whole year, and we found out they delayed the game only for polishing, that made me nervous. Because when the last time Bethesda or an Xbox game at that was exclusive to Xbox actually delayed a game a year just to polish the game? That's some shit Nintendo does. That's not what Xbox does. So that right there made me a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay, this game is probably going to bang. And when they finally really unveiled the whole game to us, there wasn't really no bugs to see. The game looked better, ran better. You had more in-depth gameplay than you thought was going to be in the game. The game is going to be pretty massive. This the only game that worries me. Yes, I think Tears of the Kingdom still going to win Game of the Year, but the only game that really, really worries me a lot is Starfield, because I believe it's going to be that type of game. To be quite honest with you, I really believe it's going to be that type of game. Now, there's another game that we got to talk about. So right now, we're just, we're 1 for 1. I already eliminated Baldur's Gate 3. All that horniness is just too damn much. Starfield actually looks like some really AAA, groundbreaking shit. So that's one. Now this other game that people like to talk about a lot, because I got to talk about it because people talk about it. Marvel Spider-Man 2. If this was the year 2015, I would say Marvel Spider-Man 2 will definitely have a shot to be Game of the Year. But it's 2023. And like I said, with the things that we are seeing from Breath of the Wild to now Tears of the Kingdom, it's quite obvious the proof is in the pudding. There's really nothing that's going to be innovative and genre-defying about Spider-Man 2. We know it's going to be a good Spider-Man game. We know it's going to be a good story about the Spider-Man universe. But is it really going to be something genre-defying or gameplay-defying that's going to happen in this game? And we all can collectively say, hell no. We already know what it is. We already know what it is, bro. We know what Spider-Man 2 is. You probably can't tell a PlayStation fan that because they live in their own damn world, in their own damn bubble. But we already know what Spider-Man is going to be. It's not going to really push nothing gaming forward at all when it comes to gameplay, mechanics, and stuff we have never seen before in an innovation level. We kind of already know that. So we could kind of scratch that off the list too. But that's not the end of the discussion because honestly, I feel like another game has a better chance over Spider-Man 2. Do y'all think y'all know what that game is? A lot of people might disagree, but I think it has a legitimate shot if it turns out to be good. I ain't seen enough, but the initial, I got the feeling. You know how your spider senses tingle when you first see a game? You be like, oh, okay, this gonna be some heat. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same feeling when I first saw Astral Chain, when Astral Chain first got revealed. You know what I mean? Yeah, oh, this might be some heat. And that game is Alan Wake 2. I know, don't say anything. Don't say anything. But Remedy is good at one thing. And one thing they are very good at is storytelling. Control probably was a fucking mess when it came out. But storytelling wise, Remedy knows what they're doing. And I think it was an outstanding idea to just absolutely rip the Resident Evil formula for gameplay. We already see it when you watch this game, Alan Wake 2. We're like, oh, this is definitely taking everything from Resident Evil. And plagiarism be damned, it might actually work for them. because on the gameplay front is where Remedy kind of lacked a little bit. It wasn't really, they tried to do innovative things, but it wasn't really a full package of a gameplay, when it comes to their games. Now that they blatantly just taking everything from Resident Evil and you pair that with their storytelling, that might be a recipe for something really, really masterful, to be honest with you. And that's coming out in October. So I'm keeping an eye on that game, because if they can just nail the Resident Evil gameplay formula good enough, that will turn out to be a masterful game. If you have not seen anything of Alan Wake 2, I advise you to go watch it. It's pretty surprising. It's pretty good. You need to go watch it and watch it for yourself and see what I'm talking about. That is my sleeper hit. Now, coming from me is probably going to be funny, but I ain't looking forward to nothing else coming out on the Switch this year. Not a single damn game. Not one. Number one, I can't stand playing 2D Mario anymore. I'm done with it. I played that all growing up. I can't do it no more. I think the last one I played was on the Wii U. Super Mario Brothers Wii U. I knew right then and there that was it for me. I'm kind of done with it. I could give two craps about WarioWare. The Super Mario RPG remake, I'm kind of so-so with that. I'd rather it had been an actual next installment in that series than a damn remake. But this is what everybody's doing today. They just want to remake every damn thing. It's like, I would be so ecstatic if it was actually a sequel to the Super Mario RPG from the SNES. But it's not. It's just a remake. So that really just killed everything for me. Maybe when we get there, I might end up falling for it. The nostalgia bug might get me. But the nostalgia bug doesn't get me anymore because Pokemon ruined that shit over the last 2 years. So I don't trust the nostalgia bug anymore. not one bit. I don't trust it no damn more. Not at all. And then I think it was one other game, right? No, I think that's it. For games that really matter that's coming out on Switch. I feel like I'm missing one. But I know it's Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and I know it's Super Mario RPG remake. Everything else is really not really that important. So, but it's okay because I'm going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom for a very long time. I'm still only a halfway through the story because I continue to do everything else outside of the story. Every side quest, every side mission, trying to hit every shrine. I really need to get back on track with the story, but the game just sucks you in and you can't do that. So, so now we're moving on to another game that I think can possibly contend, but we don't know much about it, but it can probably really do something that we never seen before. And I only say this simply because the game is really kind of the first game that's really going to take full advantage. It might be the first game released for Unreal Engine 5, if I'm not mistaken. Lords of the Fallen. It seems like this game is going to take full advantage of Unreal Engine 5. And they've been saying that Unreal Engine 5 is 3 times as better as 4. So we might end up seeing something that we've never seen in gaming before from that game. That's the only reason why I put that game on the radar a little bit, to be something that sneaks up on us. Something like a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, or how Sekiro snuck up on us and really shook us, you know what I mean? I mean, even how Elden Ring snuck up on us a year back and took us by surprise. Only because the Unreal Engine 5 factor. Yes, the first trailer does look pretty good, looks pretty decent, but we don't know too much about the gameplay. We ain't seen too much, and it's coming out pretty soon. I think that's also October as well. And it's one more game too. I'm not sure. I'm not skipping Mortal Kombat 1. I'm going to get it on launch. For this discussion, we just know fighting games really don't have a damn chance. Fighting games don't have a chance for Game of the Year anymore. I don't think I don't think a fighting game ever is going to have a chance to be Game of the Year ever again in gaming. It's just the way how advanced gaming is now. It's just going to be kind of hard It's kind of like having a racing game be game of the year. It's just impossible at this point. But, you know, Mortal Kombat 1 gonna be that fire for sure. I know that for sure. So, in this other game, that's what it was. Lies of P. Gameplay wise, it was really interesting to me, to be honest with you. But we still haven't seen a lot of coverage of it, which makes me believe this game, they're not showing a lot of the game on purpose. So you know what that means. We might have another Forspoken on our hands again. That's what it probably means. You know what I mean? So when it comes to any games, you just don't see really no gameplay revealed much. So all in all, out of everything that has come out, to be 100% honest with you and answer the damn question, can any game beat Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year this year? And the only answer I can give you is Starfield. That's the only answer I'm going to accept. Nothing else, nothing more. Definitely not Mr. fucking I'm clapping cheeks while I'm a bear damn game with the top-down 1989 camera angle and the not so far advanced turn-based combat that's boring as hell and clapping bear cheeks. It's definitely not going to be that game. But I'm telling you, I think Starfield is going to be the one that's going to come the closest to this game. I'm still saying Tears of the Kingdom is going to win the Game of the Year simply because you just have to hit everything out of the park to beat this game this year. That's the God honest truth for this year. You know what I mean? Your game has to nail every single aspect out of the park, from art design to graphics to sound to soundtrack to gameplay design to gameplay mechanics to critical acclaim to sales. Tears of the Kingdom has everything, knocked everything out of the park. So in order to dethrone the god, which is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you have to knock everything out of the park. Baldur's Gate 3 definitely doesn't do that. The only thing it knocks out of the park is clapping bare cheeks and being horny as fuck. That is it. But Starfield can come the closest. How perfect can they be in every single aspect of a game? That's the question you got to ask yourself. That is the question you got to ask yourself. So, with that being said, I would love to hear who do y'all think can probably dethrone Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for 2023 Game of the Year. Just let me know in the comment section of this video. I'm going to go ahead and look at this chat box. You got any questions? I'll answer a few questions real quick before I get out of here. Just don't ask me no Baldur Gate 3 questions because I ain't played the damn game. I ain't gonna play the damn game. I don't feel like playing the damn game. It looks boring as fuck. But to each his own. The PC guys loves that. Let them have their ball. You know what I mean? But let's not be over ridiculous saying we're pushing gaming forward with this game, because I don't see where we're pushing it forward at. Narrative wise, dialogue wise, how are we pushing gaming forward? There's more aspect to gaming than just having different branching stories that you can go into in a game, just because of the length of it. Gaming is about way more than that. So I don't know how we pushing gaming forward. You know what I mean? Why? Because you have over 100 hours of cinematics? That's pushing gaming forward? Gaming is supposed to be about games. Gameplay. That's how we push gaming forward. This is why games like Zelda, games like the 3D Mario games continue to review the way they do every time they come out, because gameplay is the first aspect that people think, or the developers think about when they develop a game. When the developers finally get on board with that notion, then y'all will stop seeing Zelda run away and crush the competition every time it comes out. Until that happens, it's going to be the same old story we've been seeing for decades. Every time a Zelda game drop, Game of the Year. Every time a Mario 3D game drop, Game of the Year. So we're going to keep seeing that until people, and I ain't going to say people, till developers start changing their ways and putting gameplay first and foremost over just being 100 hours of cinematics and clapping bare cheeks. That is the facts. So with that, I will leave y'all, and I will say this: don't let me catch you playing BG3, clapping some ogre cheeks.